When an undercover owner buys jewelry at his own dealership, stops cold when he hears two customers behind. Let's dive to see what happens next. In the heart of a bustling city stood a small yet elegant jewelry store named Gleam & Co. Its owner, Dalton Mercer, was a man known for his sharp instincts and warm smile. He had built his business from the ground up, pouring his heart and soul into every piece of jewelry that adorned the shelves. But today, Dalton had a different plan in mind. Dalton decided to step out of his usual role as the boss and immerse himself in the daily operations of his store. Dressed in casual clothes, he walked the customer, hoping to observe the interactions between his staff and clients. As he browsed through the dazzling array of necklaces and rings, he overheard a conversation that made him pause. "Hey, Brody," one voice said. Dalton turned slightly to see two men standing by the display case. One was tall with a friendly demeanor, the other shorter, but with a determined look. The taller one was Brody, and his companion was named Finn. "I'm telling you, Finn, this place has some real gems," Brody continued, pointing to a necklace. "But I don't know if I can afford it." Finn nodded thoughtfully. "It's all about finding the right moment, Brody. Sometimes you gotta take a chance." Dalton listened intently, feeling a strange connection to their words. He knew the value of taking chances. After all, he had taken a big risk when he opened Gleam & Co. years ago. He moved closer, pretending to examine another piece of jewelry. Brody sighed. "I want to get something special for my mom. She's been through so much lately. Losing her job, struggling to make ends meet, this necklace would mean the world to her." Finn patted Brody on the back. "She'd love it, man. You should go for it." Dalton felt a pang in his chest. He remembered his own mother, who had always supported his dreams. Her unwavering belief in him had given him the strength to pursue his passion. Lost in his thoughts, he almost missed the next part of their conversation. "But what if she thinks it's too much?" Brody asked, his voice tinged with worry. Finn smiled reassuringly. "Sometimes it's not about the price tag. It's about the thought behind it. Your mom will appreciate that you care enough to do something special for her." Dalton's heart swelled with admiration for these two young men. Their genuine concern for each other and their loved ones reminded him of the importance of kindness and empathy. Just as he was about to approach them, another voice interrupted his thoughts. "Excuse me, sir," a soft-spoken employee named Lenny said, approaching the group. "Can I help you find anything?" Dalton shook his head, trying to maintain his cover. "Just looking around, thanks." As Lenny turned his attention to Brody and Finn, Dalton noticed something odd. Lenny seemed hesitant, almost nervous. His usual cheerful demeanor was replaced by a frown. Curious, Dalton decided to stay a little longer. Lenny spoke gently to Brody. "That necklace is beautiful, but it's quite expensive. Are you sure you want to buy it?" Brody looked down, his face filled with doubt. "Yeah, I think so. It's for my mom." Lenny hesitated again before speaking. "Look, I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of people come in here with good intentions, only to regret their purchases later. Maybe you should think about it a bit more." Dalton's eyes widened in surprise. This wasn't like Lenny at all. Why was he discouraging Brody? Determined to understand, Dalton stepped forward. "Lenny, could I have a word with you?" he asked, his voice firm yet kind. Lenny glanced at Dalton, clearly recognizing him despite his disguise. "Sure, Mr. Mercer." They stepped away from Brody and Finn, and Dalton lowered his voice. "What's going on, Lenny? Why are you pushing Brody away?" Lenny sighed, his shoulders slumping. "Mr. Mercer, I didn't want to say anything in front of them, but Brody, he's been here before. A few weeks ago, he tried to buy a similar necklace. He couldn't afford it then, and I don't want him to feel worse now." Dalton's heart sank. He had heard enough. Turning back to Brody and Finn, he approached them with a smile. "Brody, listen to me," Dalton began, his voice filled with warmth. "I own this store, and I want to help you. Your mom sounds like an amazing person, and I believe she deserves something special. How about this? I'll give you a discount on the necklace. Consider it a gesture of goodwill." Brody's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you serious, sir?" Dalton nodded. "Absolutely. Life is full of challenges. but sometimes we need to create our own moments of joy. Take this opportunity to show your mom how much you care. Tears welled up in Brody's eyes. Thank you, Mr. Mercer. This means everything to me. As Brody and Finn left the store, their faces glowing with gratitude, Dalton felt a sense of fulfillment. He had learned an important lesson that day. Kindness and compassion could make a difference in someone's life. But just as he thought the story had reached its end, another twist awaited him. Later that evening, as Dalton closed the store and prepared to leave, he found a note tucked under the door. Curious, he picked it up and read the message inside. Dear Mr. Mercer, thank you for your generosity. My name is Brody, and I wanted to let you know that your act of kindness inspired me to do something I've been putting off for a long time. Today, I applied for a new job, and I'm hopeful for the future. You showed me that even in difficult times, there's always room for hope and love. Sincerely, Brody. Dalton's hands trembled as he held the note. He realized that his decision to step into his own store had led to something far greater than he had imagined. In helping Brody, he had reignited his own passion for making a difference. As he walked home that night, the city lights twinkling around him, Dalton reflected on the day's events. Life is full of surprises, he thought to himself, and sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can change everything. With renewed determination, Dalton vowed to continue spreading positivity and support. For in a world where struggles were inevitable, it was the power of human connection that truly mattered. And as long as he had the chance, he would keep shining a light on the path toward hope and triumph. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.